Hi everyone, welcome to a new Procreate Dreams process video. Just a heads up, this is the first animated emote that I ever did in Procreate Dreams. This is actually even way before the wave emote that I posted a video of. So my process here is a little bit outdated, at least when it comes to the planning stages of when I start working on emotes. Without further ado, let's get to it. Oh, and do like and subscribe so that I can make more of these videos. As I mentioned in my intro, this isn't the usual process that I do when it comes to making animated emotes, at least with Procreate Dreams, because right now I'm sketching and planning a rough animation before I get to the drawing and rendering back in the Procreate app. Unfortunately, Dreams is still lacking with its drawing tools, specifically like the lasso tool or clipping mask tool, so at the moment I don't really recommend that you do render or final art in it, and I suggest that you use the drawing app that you prefer to do the final illustration, whether that's Procreate or another drawing app. Right now, I'm currently doing some rough animations with the different parts of the illustration that I made so far. There will be more parts to it that will be added along the way in the final rendering, which you will see, and I will indicate which part that I'm currently working on or fixing the keyframes. For now, this is a sped up process, it's a time lapse, so I hope that you're still able to learn something from it. Now I'm taking a screenshot and we're gonna head to Procreate where I will finally draw the illustrations. Now I'm using the screenshot as a guide for me when it comes to the sizes and proportion of each element. As I draw this, you will also be able to see how I do the separation for each layer, just so that before we go back to Procreate Dreams, you have an idea on how I do the layering for each part. The parts here that I added that's not in the initial sketch is the body as well as the back of the hair. As I currently don't have any rough animation done with those parts, you'll be able to see me animate them from scratch when we go back to Procreate Dreams. As you'll notice here, I actually did the usual style that I do for static emotes, which is thicker lines on the outside and thinner ones on the inside. But I don't really do this style of render anymore when it comes to my line art. Usually what I do is I already plan out the whole silhouette of the emote, and then as much as possible, the parts that are overlapping at the front would be thinner than the outer lines. When it comes to drawing emotes, I just advise that you have fun. Play with different styles that you prefer or like drawing in, and just, have your own exploration when it comes to the kind of emotes that you want to create, because for me, not only am I learning along the way when I draw emotes, I'm also exploring my own version of it. So yeah, for me, have fun with it, and of course, learn as much as you can and enjoy the learning process. Okay, I'm almost done with all the layers here, and I actually made the mistake of exporting the PNGs on my gallery, which I actually didn't need to do because you can actually just put Dreams beside Procreate and drag the layer that you want going there. It was my first time doing an animated emote in Dreams, so yeah, in a way, I was just happy to find out that I can do that. Remember in my first Procreate Dreams video that I group each layer before I animate them so that I can update the drawings inside the group and the same animation will take effect. So that's exactly what I'm doing here now. I'm already placing the final rendered images in their specific groups. So as you can see, like with the hammer, it's already animated because when I grouped it, the same keyframes are still there, which you cannot do with Dreams if you directly keyframe the image itself. It has to be within the group or else you're gonna have to repeat keyframing them. This is actually a method that I didn't learn in Dreams. This is something that I learned in Calipeg that I just applied the same practice in Dreams, which is actually more efficient, especially if you don't draw directly from that same app. On this section, I'm already adding the layer that I have yet to animate, which is the body and the back part of the hair. I actually decided to combine both of them since they are being covered immensely by the other elements above them, so I don't really need to separate their keyframing. Now we're getting to the keyframing part, which I will be using warp for this one instead. I'm not going to use any transformation layers because so far it's actually moving well as a group. So the only thing I really need to do is to add a bit more dynamic using the warp animation. As you can see here, I can't specifically give any instruction when it comes to how I warp this one because as you can see in my keyframes, it's more of just the timing of it, like with the whole movement on where I add a bit of dynamic with the warp. So I usually eyeball this part. So for this one, it really takes some practice and observation, which in my opinion, I'm still also working on. So for this one, just explore and try things out. Now that I've added keyframe to the back part of the hair and body, I'm already circling around the other elements and adding just a bit more, I guess, movement to them, just so that they're a bit more dynamic and just trying to make the movement cute in a sense. And I guess bouncy when it comes to the impact of the bonk. I rarely use the distort keyframing for character animation, but for some reason it actually just works here since the facial expression is pretty simple and it's pretty minimal. So yeah, that will work. Do you see how I created a new group for the whole composition? This is actually my method, a bit of a hack, in order for me to be able to crop the emote already before I export it. Now for those of you that have used Procreate Dreams, we all know that there is no GIF or GIF export yet. So what I usually do is export frame as images in PNG format, transparent, no background of course. And after that, I take the whole sequence of frames all the way to Procreate app, use Animation Assist, set the FPS into what I used in Dreams, and export it as a animated GIF or GIF. And we're done. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you were able to learn something new in this video, and I will see you on the next one. Bye!